Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know, there ain't no more legit sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasha here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blogs. And also, become a member over there. As little as $3 a month, you can become a member. You get some clothing. You can get discounts on stuff. And you get access to the after show as well. So, before we get too carried away in today's show, it's going to be a lot of March Madness talk. Because it is dancing time. It is officially time for the NCAA tournament. We did have the first round of games Thursday night. Now Friday afternoon, we're getting some games coming out too. So let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brandon BC Combs to the show. What's going on, Brandon?
What is going on, Buck? What is going on, Big X Radio? I'm cracking up over here because Tori Anderson's already in the comments getting me going. Says, Man Hour Nation, are you ready for the third best channel commenter on the planet? Get your PJs on.
Yes, sir. Tori Anderson
this guy kills me, man.
Yeah, I mean, we see Tori over there in the chat. We see Michelle. What's going on, Michelle? Hope you're having a great night. Michelle, we're going to need you to stay around till about 45 minutes into the show because you may or may not be a topic of choice. You never know what's going to happen here on the Man Hour. We can go left, and we can go right, and then we can stay on.
Let's not make her any more mad at me than she already is, please.
Well, on the bright side, Combs, it is your birthday here in a week, right?
A week from Monday, the 29th is my birthday.
So there we go. So about 10 days away is your birthday. 11 days, I guess, if you're counting a day. So hopefully Michelle will, bless you with a great birthday
guys,
present.
I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak preview, okay? Look, so my oldest child is my daughter, okay? But we didn't have very much of a relationship because of her mom, so I didn't really get to raise her too much. The rest of my kids are all boys. So I'm just gonna leave it there, and I'll tell you the rest of the story later on.
Yeah, so speaking of later, Wyatt thinks he can just come and go as he pleases like all the time. So we're going to welcome him onto the show because he chooses to be here tonight. What's going on, Wyatt?
What's going on, guys?
What's the matter? Was the swing and the slides closed today?
I think so.
Anything else to do?
Yeah, they closed down the playground.
Yeah.
Oh.
They actually said nobody over the age of 16 allowed.
Okay.
Yeah. But they kicked me out of there. I thought the height, they have a little thing, that height recommendation. I thought it was you had to be taller than that height. It's actually you have to be shorter than that height to play on the playground. So they called the cops and arrested me today. So I had to get out of there.
Why?
That's twice in a month.
Yeah, man. You're
a rebel.
To be a freaking flyer.
I know. Yeah.
Are we just going to start calling you at felon_TWW?
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
that sounds about right.
I think you have a little bit of Oreo right there on your face. You might want to go ahead and clean that up a little bit. Pre-show, Wyatt. Pre-show.
You have Oreos, though. It's funny,
I think that's Nikki.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chuck E. Cheese booted Wyatt. I believe it's Chuck E. Cheese's booted Wyatt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wyatt, you actually do have to have kids to go to Chuck E. Cheese now. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so first of all, I love Chuck E. Cheese pizza. When I was single and wasn't married, so I would sometimes randomly go there and play games and eat and get pizza. I believe it was about 2013 or 2012.
What's wrong with you? You were 30 years old hanging with Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my god!
I was not 30 then, Wyatt. I was 23. I was
that makes it even better. That makes it even better. I'm 23 hanging out with Chuck E.
Have you guys seen that? You guys seen that show, right? Impractical Jokers.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's a great show. But one of the punishments they had on there, I believe it was Q. They had go in and he had to go into it like a little toddler's play group, and he had to smell the diapers. And finally, one of the moms was like, "Which one's your kid?" "Oh, I don't have any kids here."
Yeah, Impractical Jokers is a very, very good show. So
Great show.
spoiler alert, so me and my boys back home, we were doing that stuff way before Impractical Jokers were like ever around. So it was a Thursday night, we played softball. We played double hitter, so we play like 7 or 9 or 6 and 8, right? And we happened to play the late game. So it was like 10:30 at night, and when you guys play slow pitch softball, let's be honest. You throw back some beers and you have a good time with the boys, right? So we were all going through the McDonald's drive-through, and it was all of us in the drive-through. Matt Vandal, my boy there, was taking forever to order his food. So he pulls up and he pays the money. I sneak out of my car. I run up to the when they're handing out the food. I stole his sandwich, and the girl handing it out literally probably pooped her pants. It was the greatest thing ever. So I mean, we're all Facebook friends. Like every year, I think it was like September or October time frame. I always share that video because it is.
I'm Googling right now. Hilarious. K-State player gets kicked off team for getting caught in Chuck E. Cheese. It's not coming up though.
Well, because at the time I was already I already left school at that particular time, so it wouldn't have come up on the record, right? So
I can't believe you like their pizza.
It's disgusting.
Dude, that's like saying I want to go to Little Caesars tonight. Let's go to Little Caesars. Who says that? Nobody.
This guy, $5 hot.
Oh my God!
Ready?
No. You. Here's my thing with Little Caesars. Okay, my girlfriend loves it. My brother works there. Leroy works
Little
there.
Caesars is horrible,
dude. Here's the deal. If you can pay $5 for a large pizza, I'm out. I'm good. You know what?
Why?
I get it. The price is great, but
Yes, sir, Trey.
$5. Something's wrong with that. If it's $5, what's up, Trey? What's going on, buddy? If you're paying $5 for a pizza, what do you think about it, Trey? $5 for a pizza at Little Caesars. There's something wrong with it. If it's
you
$5.
can't ask a college kid what does he think about $5 for a pizza. That's probably heaven to him. $5 pizzas and ramen noodles. Trey Kaufman's all over it. I bet that's what I was all about when I was in the Marine Corps, and I was broke.
I gotta say, ramen noodles is my thing, man. I make a mean ramen noodles.
Yeah, it's really hard to put it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes.
No. I like cook eggs. I like cook eggs.
Microwaves.
I like cook eggs, and then I like cook a little thing of steak and like put the steak in it with the sauce and like mix it up. It's good, I promise.
If you make the beef ramen noodles and you throw just a little bit of butter and a little bit of salsa into it, I'm telling you, man.
Okay,
you'll never come back the same.
Combs, did you hear what Wyatt just said here? Like, let's go ahead and flash back to what Wyatt said here.
You're right, man.
So Wyatt said, "Throw some steak in some ramen noodle." Clearly, Wyatt, you are not a college kid yet.
Well,
you cannot afford steak. That's why you're eating ramen noodles.
Rich broke kid. Wyatt's that rich broke kid. He's like, I can only afford ramen noodles, but mom and dad got some filet mignons. I'm gonna throw that inside the ramen noodles. And
jeez,
dude,
Wyatt's brought me some.
Speaking of Trey, real quick, he did agree with you by saying big facts, all that stuff, right? Dude, this guy, okay, I talk very highly of Trey all the time, but Silver Creek boys basketball put out like an accomplishments list of him and Coop, and dude, I felt like it took me 10 minutes to read it. Like, it was crazy. It was like 4-time sectional champ, 3-time regional champ, state finalist, player of the year for like 3 different magazines.
I watched a YouTube video on him the other day. Actually, it came up on my my YouTube
beast, man.
Watch list, and I was watching. I was like, "Holy crap, this kid is." I'm excited to watch him at Purdue. I can't. He said he was going to get me tickets. That's all I'm saying. He said he was going to get me tickets, so I'm going to watch Trey Kaufman at Purdue. I might become a Purdue fan.
Hey, you should Saturday. You all should come up to Seymour and watch him play, man.
When?
For his semi-state game, Saturday.
When? I've got 13-year-old girls volleyball tournament. We got qualified for nationals this weekend. So
yeah. So Trey comes out and says chicken is the best ramen noodle. Hands down, chicken is probably the best.
Absolutely,
I agree. Chicken is probably the best.
I'll tell you what, though.
The worst is that seafood one.
Oh
We
God,
go
I
to
need
that
try the
volleyball
seafood one.
tournament this weekend. That volleyball tournament, Aubrey is definitely going to have the smoothest arms on the team.
Combs, stop. You are going to get so in trouble. Like, as your friend right now, Combs, I am telling you to basically change the subject right now. Because I only have one couch, and right now I'm sleeping on the couch. So we're gonna have to figure out some type of sleeping arrangement. So guys,
look. I'm a Marine. I can sleep on the floor. Just give me something to rest my head on.
Yeah. I guess whatever. I mean, I'm totally off track here.
Chicken,
went
beef,
off the
ramen,
rails.
and shaved arms.
People right now are tuning into this on Big X Radio, and they're like, "Is this the sports radio show?"
Yeah.
What are we talking about ramen for on here, gentlemen?
Listen, why you weren't here last night, but your grandma was going off of like some apple pies and this and like.
She also
I
went off
look-
because of something Buck said.
Oh, my grandma makes a mean apple
Yeah.
pie. Any pie
Like-
she makes is ridiculous. It's
She was
like
mad
it's
at
too
Buck
good.
last night.
Yeah, she
Uh-oh.
was. She was.
But Buck
mad.
said something about you, and
What'd
she
you
did
say?
Not like it.
Well, clearly you didn't listen to the show, so you should probably
Yeah.
replay and see what I said.
What-
You guys
What'd you
can
say?
you guys can replay it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, or YouTube.com/manhour. And
She
It
actually
wasn't
got
very
you?
nice. It was pretty mean.
yeah.
What was it?
If you would look over at the chat here, you would see you do not see her name tonight. So that would tell you something.
Yeah,
I don't
I don't
believe
think
you.
Nana's a fan of the show anymore.
I don't believe you.
She gave the angry faces in there. I'm not lying to you. The angry
Four
faces
angry
came up
faces.
on the
What
screen.
did you say? What did you say?
Well, like I said, you can replay the show back on
Oh my
iTunes, Spotify, or
You can't make them
iHeartRadio.
say it again. Nana will really
Yeah.
be mad.
Yeah, she will.
Well, she's not here.
So-
It's okay. You say it.
She actually just sent me a text and said that promo code is working really well right now. So, with that being said, guys, we do have a good show happening tonight. March Madness is well underway. There are some basketball. They're the playing games on Thursday night. Spoiler alert, guys, we do record this Thursday night for the Friday afternoon show. So, with that being said, there might be some takes that we have that might come true, aka or not come true. So, we're going to talk a little bit March Madness after the break. Then we have the infamous. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then we got some crystal ball predictions happening, and then of course some NFL free agency. All that and much more, guys, coming up on the Man Hour. We're going to take our first break. We'll be right back right after this. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams. If you're going to miss any part of the show tonight, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or head over to manhourradio.com and click on the Listen Now tab as well. As Tori Anderson is coming at me saying that our game over at youtube.com is rigged, I promise it is. It is not rigged. It's just you have lost your luck. I mean, that's just the way it is over there, Tori. You have lost your luck 100%. So guys, like we were hinting at, I mean, March Madness is here. It's been like 600 and some odd days since we've seen March Madness tournament action here. So Wyatt, I mean, I know you are on cloud nine. Combs, you love March Madness a lot as well. And I know here at the Buck household we have 3 TVs on right now. Granted, they're all playing the same game right now, but come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we'll be having 3 different games on 100%.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have 3 TVs going, and they're all playing Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
No, only one of them is. I know. So fun fact: we actually have Monsters Inc., Mickey Mouse, and then the basketball game. So my son is fighting himself like, do I watch Mickey or Monsters? Mickey or Monsters? So nonetheless, guys. Tournament time is, I guess, here. Like I said, spoiler alert, we are recording this for on Thursday night for the Friday afternoon noon show. But why? I'm going to kick it to you first, man. Out of all the games that are happening, this first round, the second round, and the third round, what team should be on upset alert coming into the weekend?
So when you say upset alert, like a team that's going to be a Cinderella story, or like the teams that will get upset?
A team that is higher ranked that is going to get beat.
Oh, okay. That's a really good one. I think that there are 2.
Upset alert.
Did you bounce too much last night or something? What's going on?
2.
Hey, Combs, what does upset alert mean?
Upset alert means if a team is higher ranked and they're on alert to get upset. I've never heard. Oh, do you mean upset alert by what team is gonna?
I didn't know if you meant the good end or the bad end of upset. I didn't want to be like, I'm expecting that to be Virginia, and everybody be like, why would Virginia be a Cinderella story? Why would Virginia be upsetting
Nobody would have thought
anybody?
that. Everybody would have been like, oh, Virginia's on upset alert. Okay, cool. Nobody thinks that way. Wyatt, all right, you know what?
Let's look at 2 teams. Here we go. Virginia, one of them. Virginia plays Ohio. Virginia has not got to practice as much as, of course, they would have wanted to because of the whole COVID situation going on there. They've missed a game as well. So that as well as I believe they're going to be missing 2 players, 1 or 2 players, something like that. And still, Ohio is on fire right now. They got that guard that's going to be a first-round draft pick in the NBA. He's a really good player. So expect Ohio to be upsetting Virginia. Virginia on the high upset risk alert. That being the one of them. The second one here, I'm going to take Alabama. I think Alabama loses in the round of 32 to either UConn or Maryland, whichever one moves on. I have UConn. I know Combs has Maryland. And even in that first round, I could see Rick Pitino and Iona moving on over top of them. That definitely wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. So
it
those
surprised
are 2 teams.
me because of the high rate that Iona turns the ball over. They turn the ball over a lot for a Rick Pitino team, and Alabama is very good at forcing turnovers. But all the stars are going to have to align for that one to happen.
No, they do, but I mean, Rick Pitino, he's been there before. He loves he's been in that tournament situation all the time. He's really good with it. And just something about that Rick Pitino full court press, I love it. It stresses teams out, and if you can get Alabama off their rocker, they're a lot like we mentioned this pre-show. They're a lot like Bucks Chiefs. They play down to their competition, and if you play down to Rick Pitino, he most likely will get you for that. So they're definitely going to have a tough game in that first one, and even tougher in the second, and on from there. I'm not a big believer in Alabama or Virginia for that case.
Okay, Combs, who is on upset alert? Do we need to explain to you what an upset alert is?
I've actually got quite a few teams on upset alert in the first round, but I'll just give you a few. And for me, it's the East region has the most of them. I have Colorado's on upset alert. I really think Georgetown is poised to beat Colorado. I think Georgetown makes a deep run in this tournament. They're in the Sweet 16, and they, I believe, will be facing in the second round UNC Greensboro. Upsetting Florida State is what I have as well. I have Florida State on upset alert. They're not playing very good basketball as of late. UNC Greensboro has been playing very good basketball as of late. So I'm going to take UNC Greensboro in that game as well. And also, in that same region, I guess if you, I don't see the Iona one happening, but I do have Maryland upsetting UConn. I don't know how much of a big upset that really is. It's a 10-7. But Maryland's Big Ten team, a very good Big Ten team, just beat Illinois a couple weeks back. They are a very strong team. They beat Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament. I like Maryland a lot, so look for Maryland to take out UConn.
So, Combs, fun fact on this Maryland-UConn game, ESPN has this auto picker feature now, so like if you kind of like don't know what to pick on a game, you click on this auto pick, and I did three separate picks like on this Maryland-UConn game, and I did the auto pick 3 of those times. They have Maryland going to the Sweet 16. 3 out of 3 times. So, I mean, that is a game that I definitely have
Maryland in the Sweet 16 as well.
That I want to watch. So that Maryland UConn game, obviously UConn is on upset alert because they're the higher seed per se. Yeah. But one of the biggest teams that I'm going to put on upset alert because one of my brackets I actually have them going to the Final Four is the Texas Longhorns. Looking at the Texas Longhorns schedule. Their last 9 games, they played number 13 West Virginia. They lost that game and they lost to number 18 Texas Tech. But then they rolled off 6 or 7 big wins, all versus ranked opponents besides TCU. And there is such a thing that you get too hot too early. And I wonder if Texas has reached their peak and they're coming in just kind of overlooking this Abilene Christian school a tad bit. And a fun fact is I have a friend of mine that actually is an athletic trainer for Abilene Christian, and she told me that these guys are hyped. These guys are not scared by Texas whatsoever. They think they are going to go in there and roll Texas. So I'm putting Texas on upset alert because I always feel like we have that one team that comes into that first round game not quite ready to play. And I think if Abilene Christian jumps on Texas early, they might put Texas away. So
I can see Texas. I have them losing in the second round. I don't have them losing in the first round, but I could see them losing. I have them losing to BYU in the second round. But that Texas team they're one of those teams where if they come out cold, it could be a long day and a very good day for Abilene Christian. I believe Abilene Christian is another Texas school as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yep. It is a in-state kind of rivalry type thing happening there.
So I think I agree with you guys. I think that Texas is one of those schools where not just in that first game, I think for the whole tournament, Texas could come out and be cold, and we could see them get knocked out in the first round, maybe the second round. And I also think Texas could come out hot, and they could be a Final Four team. They're just a Big 12 team. They've got a lot of solid weapons, but they're very inconsistent with what they do. So I do agree with you there that I think that they could potentially be knocked out in the first couple of rounds, but I also see there being a potential of them even being a Final Four team.
Yeah. So I feel like with Texas it is all or nothing. There is no.
I don't think there's any middle of the road. I think they lose in the first 2 rounds or the final 2 rounds of the tournament. I don't think there's any Sweet 16 or Elite 8 action there. I think they're a Final Four or round of 32 and back team. There's no middle.
Yeah, and then the next team that I have on upset alert is not in the first round, but the second round is Michigan. I think their lack of losing their best player and then only having one game, one game to really kind of figure out life that on the other side. I do have Michigan losing to St. Bonaventure in the second round, so I do have Michigan on upset alert in the second round as well. Also, Combs. I also got to put Villanova on upset alert because I believe you had Winthrop going to the Final Four, right?
No, I have Winthrop and Maryland both in the Elite 8. I have neither one of them going on to the Final Four though.
So Villanova is definitely on upset alert and without their point guard. Correct me what his name is, but it's Gillespie, right?
Gillespie, yeah. Colin Gillespie.
Yeah. So Villanova doesn't have their point guard right now, so Winthrop could easily basically beat Villanova into the ground, and I think that game is going to be lopsided one way or the other. There is not going to be any close game. Like Villanova blows them out.
Gillespie runs that offense. It's really hard to lose the guy that runs your offense, especially heading into a tournament. And in a tournament where we've said over the last 2 weeks that this is probably the most parity we've seen in a tournament in a very long time. So if you're going in not very healthy, it could be a very short tournament for you.
Yeah, and speaking of, and just like looking through this tournament here, we see names that we are used to seeing: Kansas, Gonzaga, Baylor, etc. Yep. But then there's a few teams that we don't see on there. Two of them which are being Kentucky and Duke. Wyatt, does this hurt the ratings this year for the NCAA March Madness tournament by not having Kentucky and Duke in this tournament?
I think so. I think at the end of the day, it's still March Madness, so you're going to have a crazy amount of people watching. But Kentucky has the largest following of any school in the nation, and it's not even close. Kentucky has fans all over the nation, and same with Duke. I mean, these are the two best. These are the two. It would be like Alabama and Ohio State, just all of a sudden not being involved in college football for a year. Of course you're going to lose ratings for that. But do I think we're going to see a drastic change? No. I mean, I don't think it'll be like, millions and millions of people, but will the ratings go down? Maybe, I don't know, 500,000. Sure. I mean, there are Kentucky fans who won't watch and Duke fans who won't watch because their team isn't in it. But, at the end of the day, it's March Madness. People are going to watch. You're going to have a lot of people watching. The ratings are going to be huge. It's just a thing.
See, I disagree. I don't think I think the ratings will be just fine, if not even more, because we didn't have March Madness last year. People are yearning for it. But at the same time, what is March Madness all about? What are we doing? What do we have our listeners doing? We are in a bracket pool. We're doing a challenge where there's money involved. There's prizes involved. There's all sorts of things involved in all of these different brackets that you fill out, whether it's with coworkers, whether it's with friends, whether it's bragging rights, whether it's money, whether it's prize. There's all sorts of things that are involved. So you're hanging on in your bracket the entire way. Are you going to, are you going to be less excited about watching a final if it's, Illinois versus Gonzaga? I doubt it. As opposed to, Duke versus Kentucky. I think Illinois Gonzaga this year will definitely get just as much attention as a Kentucky versus a Duke would have.
That is a 100% false statement.
I don't think so on that one.
Because every time you put Kentucky and Duke, they could both be 0-16 playing each other. You're going to have millions upon millions of people of watching them just because of their name alone. Kentucky Duke.
But you have no fans in the stands, so those fans now, instead of being in the stands, are on their TVs.
Right.
Like
so
the ratings are not going to go down this year compared to any other year.
Well, but you also got to think,
put it,
let's just take it into consent here of we'll look at one of the largest gymnasiums for pro sports. We'll say Bankers Life, I believe, has 15,000. So, let's say that it's sold out for the NCAA tournament. The only difference it's going to make is 15,000. Like that, it's not that huge of a swing for people that are there or aren't there.
True. But Combs, just to like compound your thought there, like there are certain rivalries in sports that you can throw out the records 100% as long as those two teams are playing. Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas versus Kansas State, Colorado State, Notre Dame, USC. Anytime you see those names, people are going to tune in because they flash back to their childhood. Like, oh, I remember seeing them play like all the time. Yeah. I mean, it's just like so. Like, I think more people would tune in to a Kentucky Duke final than a Gonzaga Illinois final.
I don't know, man. Look, for me, the college game, it's kind of like we talked about in the with college football. When it came time to the championship, if you're not going to let these teams that are, the teams that are not getting in because they play in not in the Power 5 conferences, but they're undefeated, and people are like, well, I don't want to see them. I want to see Alabama play. I don't think that that's as much as the case, because I think that if you go to a larger format and you see a team like a Abilene Christian make a run, you're intrigued. If Abilene Christian's in the final, I would almost venture to say that more people would be watching that than a Duke and Kentucky, because of the run that team is making and because of the Cinderella story that it is. People are going to want to watch and see this team and see if they can win a national championship and go nuts. Like, I think you guys underestimate the fact that it's still the national championship. It's still college basketball. There's still millions of people that love college basketball. And even the people that love Duke and Kentucky, yeah, for them it sucks that their team's not in and that they're not in the finals. It doesn't mean they're not watching the finals.
They are not going to be watching the finals as intensively as they were. Just because, like, let's flash back to 2012 or 2013 when those 6 mid-majors made the Sweet 16. We're talking Wichita State, VCU, some, like, I think Drake was like in there too. Those were the lowest rated Sweet 16s and Elite Eights ever because teams like Kentucky and Duke were not in there. You had VCU,
right? But it's one of those. I think it's more like as we see Tori Anderson chimes in and says it's the George Mason effect. I think it's more of the Miracle on Ice effect. If you ask me, back in the 1980s, nobody was watching hockey in the United States. It was not a very popular sport. All of a sudden, the United States is playing Russia and they're going for a gold medal, and all of a sudden, hockey blows up in the United States.
That's Olympic. That is a Olympic thing, though, just because everybody in America
into the NHL as well. It also from that point on, the NHL became more popular in America as well.
But like a team like George Mason, VCU, Drake, Wichita State, they are not going to blow up college basketball by making the Elite Eight.
So you're telling me, and I know this is it would never happen, but if you're telling me that Winthrop versus, I don't know, Drake in a final, you would be less interested in that than you would be at Duke versus Kentucky?
I would be much less interested in that.
Why?
I would almost not
to me, that's more
it.
interesting.
Like, you don't know anybody on that team.
It's two terrible teams.
But it's not two terrible teams because they just ran the table in the NCAA tourney. Maybe they're just better than you knew they were.
They got lucky in the NCAA tourney.
I would. To me, I don't know. I just think about things differently because I would much rather watch something like that than Duke versus Kentucky because I'm watching two teams that had zero shot of making it and now they're both in the title game. Or even if one of them's in the title game, I'm more likely to watch the title game.
Let's say this. Let's say let's say the NFL let everybody into the playoffs. The Jets are 0-16 and the Panthers are 2-14, right? And they both get hot and they make it to the Super Bowl, and then you have the Jets versus the Panthers Super Bowl. Would you be more inclined to watch two of the worst teams in the NFL than, let's say, the Chiefs and the Bucks? Which game are you going to watch more?
I'm watching regardless. I'm watching no matter who's in it. I'm a Bears fan. My team's never in the Super Bowl. So I'm watching regardless of whether or not my team's in the Super Bowl. But the thing is, like, if all teams make the playoffs and you're telling me an 0-16 team versus a 2-14 team is in the Super Bowl, to me that's amazing. So yes, I'm going to watch. I'm just as excited as I am as if it's Chiefs versus the Bears. Like, I'm just as excited to watch because I think that it's amazing. I think it's amazing to watch these underdogs and these schools that aren't, necessarily as good on paper beat these bigger schools. I think that that's amazing. For me, that's more fun to watch. I've always been that way. I've always been a fan of the underdog. I've always been a fan of watching those teams that nobody gives a chance to go and run a table. That's just me, though. I mean, maybe it's not as widespread as I'd like to think that it is, but for me,
I think
I'd much rather watch
you're
that.
under 6 foot tall. I mean, because like people that are
why you always gotta come with the short jokes, man?
Because
we're
it
a
is
day
true.
removed from St. Patrick's Day. It is a leprechaun's day. You leave me alone, sir.
He's Irish too, Buck. Come on now, give him a cut on this one.
I'm 100% German.
I got your back, Combs. I still love you, man.
So guys, with that being said, Combs, you love the underdog story. Wyatt, you are kind of like a big Power 5 type
I want the one seeds duking it out, man.
Yeah, so
I want the one seeds going at each other's throat. I love that.
So with that being said, with our brackets, they are locked in. Combs, if you had a chance to change any game in the bracket, like as far as your pick, what game would that be?
If I could change a pick?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, I still could change a pick. But if I had one that I'm not as sure on, I would say it is I have Ohio beating Virginia, and that's the one that I'm not sure on. I like Ohio because they're playing hot ball and because Virginia hasn't Virginia hasn't really played in a week or practiced in a week. So I think that that's why I took Ohio. But Virginia is still really talented. Virginia still can come out and absolutely beat Ohio. So that's the one that's up in the air for me.
Why? What about you?
Mine, that's a really good question. I'm going to give you two answers here, kind of one A and one B. The first one would be Colgate, Arkansas. I stared at that matchup for, I can't even tell you how long, trying to decide what I wanted to do with that. Because Colgate is a team that's really hot right now. They're playing really good basketball, and it's tough for me. So I ended up going with Arkansas because they are a 3 seed. They do play a tougher conference. But I still nonetheless think that's going to be a really, really good game. And then the other one is the Georgetown and Colorado game, the 5-12. I got Georgetown upsetting them, and not that I'm not confident with Georgetown. I think both teams are extremely underrated. Like, I think that both of these teams have a serious shot of going to the Sweet 16 and beyond. But it's a tough matchup there. It's really tough to call. I did go with Georgetown because they're hot at the right time, and I think that they do move on in that one. But man, it is a tough one. And then also the Virginia and Winthrop game. I ended up going, or not Virginia, excuse me, the Villanova Winthrop game. I went with Villanova in a very close one, but that's another 5-12 upset that I had to look at for a long time.
Yeah, so the 2-15 matchup. So in my family bracket, I picked Iona to beat Alabama, but here in the man-hour bracket, I did pick Alabama to win that game, and I kind of want to go back and change that just because for some reason, this is the year I think that we're going to see multiple, 13 seeds and below win their first-round games. It just feels like that type of year where it's totally unpredictable, and the person that wins the bracket is going to be sheer luck, right? So right. I think like that 2-15 seed in the Alabama, I actually had the bracket pulled up right now, and I really want to change it, but I don't know. I've been going back and forth on it a lot, and that's the one game that I would like to change.
Let's go back to our earlier argument about always wanting to see the higher seeds win. So Wyatt, you're the guy that every year wants to see Alabama in the national championship game because they're supposedly the best team in college football, right?
I want the two best teams in college football to play each other in the national championship. Yes.
So if Alabama's ranked, I'm the exact opposite. I can't stand Alabama. I hate seeing them in the title game every year. I hate seeing, for me, I was always rooting against the Patriots because I was tired of seeing them in the damn Super Bowl.
Right.
I want to see the teams that beat them. That's what I'm rooting for. Like, I'm looking for an upset. You're not rooting for Alabama to go down when you get into the Final Four, even though they're 12-0 and they beat up on Colgate and Winthrop and whoever else they play in college football.
I feel like football is different than basketball, though, just because football, you do only play 11 games.
How could you not root? Like, were you never rooting for a 16 seed to beat a 1 seed? Like, how could you have not been rooting for UNCB?
No, because I want my bracket to be correct.
Right.
No, well,
yeah.
How could you not
win
be
the
rooting
bracket
for a 16 seed to pull off that upset? Like, when Virginia got upset, like even though I had Virginia winning the whole thing that year,
I did too.
I was excited that my bracket got busted because I was excited to see a 16 seed break through. I'm excited to see, I have Winthrop and Maryland in the Elite Eight. That's a 12 and a 10 seed. Like, I'm excited to see them knock off everybody who's in front of them. That's what the tournament's all about, is the upsets, the buzzer beaters.
Here is the problem. After that 16 seed did beat the 1 seed, who was the 16 seed, right?
UMBC.
Yeah, right.
UMBC.
So after they beat Virginia in that first round game, what did they do in the second round game? They got beat by 30 points.
No, they lost by 4 points to K-State.
Yeah, they lost by 4.
Well,
they did
either way, they lost.
It's not either way.
Do you want to say that?
It was a
played
game,
up with them.
your team won.
K-State actually beat Kentucky that year to make it to the elite.
They did.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. But it was a good game against UMBC. They hung in with them. That's what I want to see. That's what college basketball is all about. It's about watching these playing games, like the teams that you don't think belong there, and watching them beat these teams. The excitement in the stands from the class that's watching them in the stands. That's what college basketball is all about. How do you not I don't understand you two. I thought I knew you two. I don't understand you two right. I don't even feel like I want to watch sports with you guys anymore.
Okay, it's like if I'm gonna watch a fight, why would I want to watch two poodles fight versus two just massive bulldogs? You know what I mean? Like, why would I want to see two for example, would you rather watch two heavyweights go at it or two featherweights? I want to see heavyweights go at it. I want to see
it's a very different thing because the featherweights going at it. The featherweights are a lot of fun to watch. If I'm watching a featherweight go up against a heavyweight, I want to see the featherweight kick the heavyweight's ass. I just do.
Too David and
Sorry, Buck, you're going to have to
Combs.
bleep that out. Hold on. 40 minutes, 35 seconds. You're going to have to bleep that out.
Hey, yeah. Mike Vick, yeah, Wyatt is right here. He likes dogs.
No. Dang it. I knew as soon as I made that reference too, as soon as I made it, I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, that's definitely going to come off wrong in my head. I'm like, I shouldn't have said that.
Why or Combs? You want to go ahead and jump in?
I do not enjoy dogfighting. I actually
he prefers
I own a
the
pit bull, you jerk.
I love my dog. I have a boxer. I love my.
And with that, we are not going to talk about dogfighting on this show.
Are there any comments that we need to address before we head to the next break?
We've got a lot of them coming in. Drew says, I know it ain't going to happen, but I'd love to see Creighton win. And before the tournament started, before we started doing the picks, before the bracket was even out, Wyatt asked me if I do a bracket. And I said, actually, I do 3 of them every year. I do my normal one, the one that I think is my serious picks. Then I do my crazy bracket with his. I take as many upset picks as I can. In that one, I actually have Creighton winning the championship. So that would be. I would love to see Creighton win the championship.
So Drew, let me clarify. Do you want to see Creighton win a game, win 2 games, make it to this week's season, or win it all? Because I do have Creighton not winning one game this year in the March Madness.
I think you're wrong. I have Creighton in the Elite 8, I think. Sweet 16.
I have Ohio in the Sweet 16. And that West bracket.
You're Ohio, right?
in that West bracket in the Sweet 16, I actually have Missouri versus Ohio and Kansas versus Iowa. And I have Missouri coming.
Oh, God.
Tori Anderson says, Wyatt Kicks Dogs is going on Twitter right now.
There you go. Hey, Combs. Me and Tori were having a Twitter conversation today, and we tagged you like 3 or 4 times, and we got nothing out of you.
Yeah, I didn't look at Twitter once today. It was I had a long day. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I didn't look at Twitter once again.
You are asking kids to shave their arms. Congratulations.
It's not
all right, guys.
Exactly what happened.
We are going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we have Ain't Nobody Got Time for That, a fan favorite here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back, guys, after this break.
My life
is over.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Man Hour Nation, what is going on? We are back here on Big X Radio, and it is time for everybody's new favorite segment. It is Ain't Nobody Got Time for That.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Boys, are you ready?
I am, man. Hey, Drake just beat Wichita State by 1.
Hey, guess what? Late news.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, it was actually a really good game. I sat here.
was a great
and
game.
Watched it.
Yeah.
So actually,
All
I'm going to change my bracket now because I had Wichita State winning that game, and I thought Wichita State was going to beat USC. I'm going to flip USC beating Drake now.
You got
I
plenty
had
of
Drake.
time.
I had Drake, and then I had Drake beating USC. But at any rate, you guys ready for Ain't Nobody Got Time for That?
Yeah.
All right. So the first one we're going to go with here, I see it all over Facebook today, and I don't know, I know that there was some talk on by Shaq about the WNBA, and there was this thing about how Sue Bird has played as many seasons as LeBron James, has won as many championships as LeBron James, but her salary was something like, I think, I don't know, it was under $1 million per year. So people now are complaining that WNBA players are not paid as much as an NBA player. Am I the only one that thinks that this is an asinine argument? It's about the revenue that each sports generate. The WNBA generates $25 million a year. The NBA generates $7.4 billion. Like, there is a significant difference. The WNBA as a whole generates $25 million. The Lakers last year made $745 million. Like, that's just the Lakers.
So I agree with you. I think it's a good argument that they have. I get it. I get the equal pay thing and everything with like that. But, at the same time, if you're not bringing in the amount of revenue that another sport is, it's the same issue that men's soccer and women's soccer had in Team USA. The women's team has won more national cups than the women's team has won more World Cups than the men's has in recent history, so they wanted to be paid more. Which I get the argument. They have definitely been way more successful than the men. But at the end of the day, it's the same argument. I believe it was the Women's World Cup as a whole brought in $93 million for the last one, and the men's brought in over $7 billion. So, it's not the same. And so it has nothing to do with anybody getting paid more because of their genitals. It has everything to do with the revenue that these sports are bringing in. If your sport is bringing in more, you're going to get paid more. Doctors get paid more than McDonald's workers because doctors bring in more money than McDonald's workers do. So,
That's probably a false statement, to be honest with you, but that's okay.
Per person, they do.
How much money do you think McDonald's makes like a year or a month for that example?
Okay, how about this? Fine. Your local gas station, your local gas station person that runs your register sells less than what a doctor does per year. Okay. And does less important stuff than what a doctor does. So of course the doctor will make more. It's the same thing, and no disrespect to the WNBA or women's soccer as a whole. I enjoy both. I watch both. They're great sports, but at the end of the day, if you're not bringing in as much, where are they wanting this money to come from? That's my question.
You need to go back to jumping on trampolines.
Yeah.
I don't know if you scrambled your brain last night or what. But
what's your argument then?
I don't have the revenue is the argument. I don't think
that's what I just said.
Me, when I said that to begin with, all you did was repeat what I had already said. You're like a parrot right now.
You said a common fact that many people believe, and now you're claiming it is yours.
So I had a female friend who posted this on her Facebook page, and I said to her like that, and she's a sports fan, and I asked her the one question: how many WNBA t-shirts do you have? How many WNBA hoodies do you have? How many WNBA hats do you have? And when you couldn't answer the fact that you even had one, because I know for a fact you've got Red Sox gear, I know for a fact you've got Patriots gear, I know for a fact that you've got Bruins gear, you can't complain about them not having the revenue when we're not watching their sport. When it comes to tennis, when it comes to golf, which I watch both of those. I like tennis, I like golf. I'll watch the women's just as much as I watch the men's. I actually, when it comes to tennis, I actually prefer
I watch
women's
the women's
tennis
more than the men. Yeah,
I do.
Serena Williams.
Yeah, but I prefer them because I think it's more competitive in the women's divisions in tennis. So I will watch the women's divisions more. But when it comes to hockey, basketball, and all that other stuff, like I'm watching. I'm sorry, but maybe basketball. I could say maybe I'll watch the WNBA more than when I watch NBA. But I don't. Likes dogs and likes fast food workers is going on Twitter.
Jeez.
So,
Oh God.
Full circle here. I mean, look at the average attendance for NBA games, which is right underneath 18,000. The average attendance for a WNBA game is less
18?
than 6.
Oh,
Less than 6,000.
oh!
So,
I thought you meant less than 6.
no, less than 6,000. So
I'm not gonna lie, less than 6, I would have understood. Like I probably would have believed you.
I don't know, but nonetheless,
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. So the next one that we got here is Shaq says the WNBA should lower its rim to gain interest. I think that's so. We just got done saying that women should be paid just as much as the men because they could do everything that they're doing just as much as the men. But now we want to give them an easier hoop. I don't know. What are we doing here?
well, it wouldn't be an easier hoop. It would be like leveling the playing field, just because like the average male in the NBA is probably like 6'5", 6'6".
Have you
right?
watched the way these women can shoot? These women can shoot in the WNBA. I'm not saying the WNBA. These women are athletes, man. They can play some basketball.
I'm not saying they're not.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
what
why
sells,
lower
Combs?
the rim?
Home runs or walks? What sells, home runs or like walks?
I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask, but probably home runs.
So what sells in the NBA? Shooting from 15 foot out or dunks?
In today's NBA, shooting from 45 feet out.
No, it
it's
does
dunks.
not.
It is still playing
still
above the rim.
Their
100%.
dunk contest was the halftime show of the freaking All-Star game, and there
That's
were 3
because
contestants.
of COVID shortened season. That's the only reason why that has happened.
Oh, really?
That's the
Because
only
they had a
yes.
full the night before. They had a fully contested 3-point contest.
Well,
How many
they can't have a
contestants were in
3-point
that?
contest and a dunk contest in the middle of it, and the skills competition.
Oh,
they can't
my
do all
God.
that. They had the skills competition too the night before, and the Rising Stars Challenge.
All right,
Do you know
so
why
like
they
3
put
events the night before.
Combs?
if you're telling me that the 3-point doesn't give you as much as doesn't sell as much as the dunk, why wasn't the 3-point contest a 3-man thing at halftime and the dunk contest a full the night before?
Because a 3-point contest takes a lot longer than the dunk contest. That's why. And they wanted more people to tune into the All-Star game, so that's why they put the dunk contest at halftime.
Because it
so
draws more
people
viewers.
yeah, exactly. So
Considering that Wyatt says draws more viewers. Remember that night that we were on, Wyatt, and I said, "When is the All-Star game?" You're like, "I don't know," and I said, "Oh, it's actually happening right now."
No,
Yeah.
I thought it was the next
Wyatt.
weekend.
Exactly. You
Not-
didn't know it was
no,
even
no,
on.
I literally said, "Oh, it's coming this weekend, coming up," and you were like, "It's on right now," and I was like,
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, moving on.
"Can we get away from these political questions, please?"
how
The
is
next
it
one
political?
here,
Canceled, man.
Houston
How's it-
prosecutor is coming after Deshaun Watson
No, we're not going to get away from political questions.
after
Tag 'em on.
their. Why are you making me laugh during this, man? This is supposed to be a serious one. So Deshaun Watson is getting accused now of. Supposedly, last I heard was that there are 9 women coming forward now.
Yep.
And this is one of those things where here's my red flags, and we talked about this a little bit last night, Buck. My red flags is 1, the prosecutor is the next door neighbor of the Houston Texans owner.
Yep.
2, no criminal charges are being filed. Only lawsuits.
Civil suits. Yeah, civil
that
suits,
want.
whatever.
They're seeking money, and they were at first they asked for a 6-figure settlement before they even filed the lawsuits.
Yeah.
So those are my
So-
red flags. I don't understand. I'm going to give Deshaun Watson full benefit of the doubt
I am.
until I see a reason
innocent
not to.
until proven guilty.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with that being said, I'm also going to keep it at arm's length because I don't want to sit here and defend Deshaun and all this stuff if it is true. So I'm keeping the whole situation at arm's length with everything that has happened. I hope it's not true.
There's a shot.
I really hope it's not true because, if it is true, Deshaun Watson is looked up to by so many kids, these days and stuff. So for him to act like that and for him to do that stuff is just, it's horrible. If for anybody to act like that and to do that is horrible. But especially if you are an influencer like that and many people look up to you, many people watch you every Sunday, all that stuff. So I hope it's not true. That's all I'm going to say. Because if it is, then I hope he never plays another down in his life. Because that's terrible.
But
did you see the stuff he did?
I don't care because it is not true 100%. Because if it was true, he would have said, "Here's your money." The fact is that he came out and said he wants to clear his name means he did not do a darn thing. Let's just be flat out honest. Deshaun Watson makes $40 million a season. They're asking for $100,000.
Ask Ben Roethlisberger's accusers how rich they are.
Yeah, just like
it's true.
If it was true, we have never even heard about this, guys. Let's just be honest.
Yep.
This would have been swept underneath the rug. They would have signed a what's the proper term of it where you can't talk about stuff.
They would what's that called?
It's
gag,
not called a pre.
a gag order.
Right. I mean, they would have signed a gag order. They would have got their money, and we never heard a darn.
And I said it last night. For those guys accused, and I agree with you. If he did it, I agree. He should go face jail time. He should never play another down. But if these are false accusations,
then
those people that are accusing,
yes,
they should face the same consequences that he is facing.
I agree with you 100%.
Here's what I say to false accusation.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, guys. So,
spoiler alert: Deshaun Watson to Patriots and Bob Kraft and Deshaun Watson. No, I'm kidding.
Go to a massage parlor together. So,
whole Robert Kraft.
I have, like I said, I have raised only boys my entire life. So today,
here we go.
My 13-year-old stepdaughter Aubrey comes to me and says, I feel like my arms are too hairy. I said, well, don't girls shave their arms? And she says, I don't know. I said, well, I think they do, but I'm not sure. So then I'm getting ready for the show, talking to Wyatt, and all of a sudden I hear two people running down the stairs into the basement. Michelle with her eyes wide open. Did you tell her to shave her arms? Not exactly. And so she went in the shower after we had that little talk and shaved her arms. And I guess that is the wrong answer. And so, like, guys, what am I supposed to do?
Nikki's sitting next to me the whole time all this is going down. It's me, Combs there, and then Michelle and Alban were in Combs' basement. Nikki's sitting next to me. And as soon as he said, Nikki even looked at me and went like that. And she was like, no. So you should have called and asked me.
Combs, we need. I'm going to give you some
Step
fatherly
Brando's
advice.
in the doghouse.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Combs. First things first is your daughter, your wife, your significant other. They are always the most beautiful thing to walk the planet. Hey, honey,
absolutely.
Does my hair look bad? No, your hair looks great. She hasn't washed her hair in 3 weeks. It's like like you can literally see the grease pouring out of it. No, it looks great, honey. Do these jeans make me look fat? No, no,
your ass
not
does.
at all. Do I need to shave my legs? No, I like the hair rubbing against my hair. Combs. Like the girls are always, I mean, they're always beautiful. They're always right. The fact that you said, well, don't all girls do that? Combs, Google it. The first thing, so I pulled up Google while we were looking here, and I put, do girls in an autofilled shave their arms? They say no. 80% of females do not shave their arms. So
I didn't tell her to shave her arms, though. I said I think
but
they
you
do.
didn't.
Like,
but you also
But you didn't tell her not to.
Exactly.
She's 13.
Jeez.
Oh my God,
Michelle, if you ever need me to straighten him out, like just call me. Like
I think she's gonna straighten him out. She said Step Brando's in the doghouse. I love it. Look at this. Step Brando is in the doghouse.
Combs.
It's amazing.
I don't know, man.
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Should that monkey shave his arms?
No, he looks beautiful just the way he is.
He looks just fine.
All right, guys. We are going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, Wyatt is going to give us his crystal ball predictions of the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. What team is going to be hot? What players are going to be hot? All that and much more, guys, here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back.
To the 2-minute warning.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? We are here today. We are a tournament-filled upcoming couple of days. But with that being said, I'm going to bring the guys on here, Combs and Buck, as we get ready to talk some tournament here. But the main thing here, the crystal ball predictions, of course. We're talking about some players. We're talking about some teams. So you guys choose. Buck, Combs, what do you guys want first, players or teams?
I want to hear some players, some players that are going to have the Steph Curry type of March Madness here.
Steph Curry type of March Madness. Well, then I'm going to go none other unless you hear me say this name probably twice a day. But I love the kid. Buck, we talk about him a lot. You say he's going to be better than Kevin Durant out of the Big 12. I'm sure that draws a lot of eyes when he says that. But there is potential in that. That's Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is an incredible basketball player. He is going to be a staple of the NBA for a long time coming. Just a 5-star kid coming into college. He plays like a 5-star. He lives up to the hype. He's one of those guys that just has the switch. When he needs to hit it and he needs to take over a game, he hits that switch and he takes over. He can drop 30-plus points on any given night. If his team needs him to score 30 points to win, he can drop 30. If his team needs him to score 20 to win, he can put up 20. And if they need him to put up 20 points and 10 assists, he can do that too. He's a defensive machine, just an all around incredible player, and I think they're going to walk around this tournament for a long time. I think they could even potentially see a extremely late run into this tournament.
Cade Cunningham. I mean, I kind of feel like that's a safe pick there. Wyatt?
It is a safe pick, but hey, he's going to be the Steph Curry of
Wyatt
this.
Doesn't go on a limb. I don't know if you haven't noticed that. Wyatt doesn't go out on very many limbs.
So Combs, do you think Wyatt would be a great politician when he gets older?
I think if he shaved his head.
Yeah, I mean, bald people always go for their.
Tori Anderson chimes in and says, "New rule: every time Wyatt says Cade Cunningham, he needs to shave his head."
I'm good. I'd be bald for a long time.
All right. Give me a team, Wyatt. A team up next.
A team, yeah. So it's a team that just moved on, and I think they've got a lot of potential. If they do win it, they were in the first four, that being Drake. Drake is a team that, I talked about a lot into this, into the beginning of the tournament times. We got near it. A sleeper heading near the tournament. Drake is a really good team. They just moved past Wichita State, another really good team. To get in. They were undefeated for a very long time. I believe they hit a 18-0, 19-0 streak. I'm not sure what it was to start off the year. Had a little bit of a rough run after that, but they've beaten some decent teams, and they play in a decent little conference there to give them a little bit of battle test. But there's always an 11 seed that beats a 6 seed every year, and don't look past the Drake Bulldogs to be that 11 seed to possibly move on past. I believe they play USC, so
right.
I'll have to check that for you. But, so Drake is one of those teams. Another big team that I'm going to mention here, that is going to be Georgetown. The Hoyas, coached by Mr. Patrick Ewing. And they are an awesome team. And it's funny because, they don't look like a tournament run team. They're 13-12 right now, I believe. Something just not a great record. But when it comes to March, baby, anything happens in March. I mean, you get this close, and you can run the distance if you've got the team to do so. They enter their conference tournament. They end up coming away with it. Patrick Ewing kind of takes over for his team, and they play really good basketball. They are a 13-12 team playing like a 20 win team
want
right
to see
now.
them win a championship though, because they're a poodle.
They are.
Jeez. Oh yeah. So Georgetown. That is my next team on that one. So any reactions to that, boys?
I think Georgetown is kind of another safe pick there because many of us have them going far into the Sweet 16 or so.
They're a 12 seed, Buck.
Are you really want me to crank this up? Then fine.
Let's
here we go.
Crank it up, baby.
I'll give you one. Give me the 15 seeded Iowa team coached by Rick Pitino. Give me Iona, 15 seed. They play Alabama. Alabama, one of those teams that plays down to their competition in a sense. I think Alabama loses in the first or the second round of this one. So if I had to pick a 15 seed to move on, give me Ricky P.
So
give me Rick Pitino and Iona.
You either take the easy way out, or you take a team where they have no chance of winning. But if they do, you look like a genius.
Hey, you guys wanted me to get crazy, so I did just that for you.
You were just reiterating what I said earlier, so congratulations on that.
Oh my God! Of course.
Anybody else you have in your crystal ball that's going to have a good round one and round two?
Yeah, so I'm kind of go back to the safe side here in a way. Not too much of a surpriser when I say this, but that's going to be all the one seeds, of course. All the one seeds. I don't think other than Michigan, I don't think we see a one seed lose until at least the Elite Eight. I think this is one of those years where we could possibly see an all one seed Final Four. I know it's something that hasn't happened very much before. But this is just one of those weird years. This is a year where a 5 seed could finally come away with it. A year where all 1 seeds could finally make the Final Four. A year where a 12 seed could finally make the Final Four. This is just one of those crazy years. So give me all the 1 seeds, and also the big upset that I kind of mentioned it just a second ago with Michigan. Give me North Carolina, give me LSU possibly, or St. Bonaventure. I don't think either of those are bad picks over Michigan in that second round. I think that's a possible one, as well as another 1 seed that could possibly come away with a loss in that one is the winner of the North Carolina-Wisconsin game. I know Tori here, who's always chiming in on the show, he's not a big believer in his Wisconsin Badgers team. I am. I've got Wisconsin moving on over North Carolina and almost beating Baylor. I think Baylor pulls that out just in the final seconds of that one because they are a really good team nonetheless. They haven't been the same ever since they had that first loss to the year. But that's 2 1 seeds that could possibly go out.
All 3 of my brackets, I picked North Carolina to beat Wisconsin. All 3 of them. I don't think there's any chance that Wisconsin beats North Carolina.
And I have Wisconsin beating North Carolina.
Wait, Buck, you said you didn't have them? I didn't hear what you said, buddy.
I do have Wisconsin beating North Carolina.
Oh, you do? That's I got Wisconsin just because I think Wisconsin plays in a tougher conference. I think they kind of cool off at the end of the year. They struggle with that a little bit, but they are a good Big Ten team.
I feel like your crystal ball. Like I feel like you're the worst gypsy ever. You're like, I'm gonna look into your future here. I see that you are wearing a black hat, and I'm like, yeah, I've got it on right now, Wyatt. Like you like you got. What do you see in your crystal ball? I see Gonzaga is a very good team. Well, they're undefeated, so cool.
So Wyatt, let me ask you this question. Look deep into that crystal ball there, and what team, 1 or 2 seed that you could possibly see losing in the first round or second round besides Alabama? You've already said
besides Alabama. Oh man, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Houston, Cleveland State, who they play. Cleveland State almost beat Ohio State at the beginning of the year. Cleveland State is actually a decent little team, not too bad. Another 2 seed I just mentioned of Ohio State. I don't see Ohio State losing, but I will say this Oral Roberts team that they're playing is not too bad at all. They have I believe the number 1 scoring guard across the nation as for averaging points. So they have a decent team there that could possibly come away with it. I don't see any of the 1 seeds really going out in that
Michigan,
first round.
Second round. Michigan losing in the second round.
No, I mean in the first round. I don't see Michigan losing in the first round. I'm talking about the first round here. If I had to pick a 1 seed, like I said, it would probably be Michigan.
Baylor, right?
Michigan, maybe Baylor.
Yeah,
I don't
think
see
Baylor's
this being
the weakest of all the 1 seeds.
Really?
See, yeah. I thought it was Baylor, but then I really took a deep dive into. I knew how good Isaiah was, but I really took a deep dive into how much of a role he played on that team for Michigan. Watched some of their film and stuff, and he was everything for him, man. He was their key piece. So, like I said, if any 1 seed gets upset in that first round, give me Michigan. Honestly, missing their best player, and he's their best player by far.
So why you say Michigan is the worst number 1 seed? Combs, you're saying Baylor's the worst number 1 seed. I'm going to go with Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's the worst
undefeated.
Number 1 seed. It doesn't matter. I still think they're the worst number 1 seed.
Well, you know what that means? Clearly, every one of us love Illinois because nobody said Illinois was the worst 1 seed.
Well, I mean, like I think Illinois is a very, very solid basketball team, and they show up night in and night out, and they aren't going to blow you out of the water, but they're not going to just.
I clearly love Illinois. I have them picked to win it all, so I love Illinois. I think that they have a really good team, and I think that they're poised to make a very deep run. If they lose before the Final Four, I'll be extremely surprised.
I have them losing to Chicago Loyola in the second round.
No. Well,
no.
Look, Chicago Loyola is one of those teams that, Sister Jean, everybody hops on that bandwagon because they got the 102-year-old nun that follows them around, and she's going to watch she's going to be at the Loyola Chicago tournament. So she's going to be there watching them play. I don't see Chicago Loyola. Look, they're a team I watch closely. They're on here all the time. I don't think that. I don't think Chicago Loyola is the team that beats it. If they lose, it's going to be to a top seed. It's going to be somewhere in that Elite Eight, Final Four, if they don't make it to the finals.
Alrighty. Why? Any final predictions before we head to our next break?
Final predictions. I gave my bracket earlier, but I always like to kind of go back and revise right before the tournament starts. I always like to give my bracket at the very beginning and stick to most of what I put on there, but I always like to change a few things up as time goes on, as we get close. And I I really took a hard thought about that Elite Eight round with Iowa and Gonzaga, and I think the Zags come away with it.
I really like to give you guys my picks, so you go out and fill your bracket, and then I change my stuff all up. You guys,
well, you should have the same bracket as everybody.
So you have gone back and forth on that Iowa Gonzaga game 4 times now, right?
I have, but I do believe the winner of that wins the whole thing. I will tell you that right now. The winner of Gonzaga and Iowa in that Elite Eight, I truly do believe wins the whole bracket.
Spoiler alert, Gonzaga loses in the second round.
I don't know about that.
All right, guys. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. We're going to talk some NFL free agency on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeye here along with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can download the podcast form of the show on iTunes, Spotify, and of course iHeartRadio as well. Or you can head over to manhourradio.com, click on the podcast section, and play the latest episode up there as well. So let's go ahead and welcome the boys back on the show, Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams. As Wyatt takes a left turn here on the show like he normally does about this time of night because it is past his bedtime. But let's go ahead and talk some NFL free agency, guys. There has been some big signings. Mainly the Patriots seem to be making all of the big moves, but quietly the Buffalo Bills signed Mitchell Trubisky, possible quarterback controversy in
somebody here's happy about that.
In Buffalo, we never know. Also, the Redskins, the football team, they've signed some big name receivers as well. So Combs, I want to kick it to you first here. So there has been 1 week of the new NFL season. What team has won NFL free agency so far?
I mean, I guess you would have to say the Patriots, since they've signed every single free agent on the market. I think Buffalo got a little bit better. I don't want to say better, but I do like Mitchell Trubisky going to Buffalo, though, because I do like the fact that he's going to be sitting behind Josh Allen there and learning from Josh Allen and figuring that stuff out. Right. So I do like that from him. I do not think that he's ever going to see the field unless Josh Allen gets hurt. But they picked up what was the wide receiver they just picked up? I can't remember his damn name now. I'm so bad with that. But if I'm going to say anybody other than New England, I will go ahead and I will say so far Buffalo has won free agency.
I think you're referring to Jonnu Smith, right? Maybe.
No, Jonnu Smith went to New England.
Yeah, I thought that's who you were talking.
No, I was talking about Buffalo. Buffalo
okay.
signed Emmanuel Sanders. That's who Buffalo got. Emmanuel Sanders. That was a huge get for them. They needed that third slot receiver, and Emmanuel Sanders is perfect for that. So I really like Emmanuel Sanders in Buffalo. I think that other than the New England Patriots, I would take the Buffalo Bills.
So Wyatt, let's kick it to you. What team so far in the NFL has won the free agency season so far?
I think today the Bears won it with Mitch Trubisky going somewhere else. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I think it's the Raiders, and nobody's really talking about them at all. They have signed a bunch of really good defensive linemen that are sleepers. They're going to have a really
and they
good
just got Kenyon Drake.
Exactly, and they just brought in Kenyon Drake. So they're going to have a good.
I didn't even know he was a free agent. Did you? I didn't know Kenyon Drake was a free agent. He was low key out. I didn't even know he was leaving Arizona.
I think.
And speaking of Arizona, Arizona's another one. Arizona's another one really that has. Go ahead. No, Arizona's another one that's done a really good job. They signed AJ Green. AJ Green is a nice addition for them to add to that team. Just another really good receiving option that you can throw to.
They need a running back now, though.
Well, no, they got Chase Edmonds. Still, Edmonds is a good running back.
That's a step down from Kenyon Drake, though.
But you also know who is now a free agent, though, Combs? Philip Lindsay from the Denver Broncos.
Ooh, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like everybody's going to Arizona too, right? So Wyatt, once again, you cannot pick one way or the other. You gave me two teams. So let's go ahead and try to pick one here. What team has won NFL free agency?
Jeez. Oh, Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
Okay, so Combs, you went with the Patriots. Wyatt, you are going with the Cardinals, and I'm going to go with the football team. They are quietly putting together a pretty.
What did they sign?
So they signed wide receiver Curtis Samuel. They signed Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're beefing up that defense even more. They signed William Jackson. They're adding some
William
offensive
Jackson's
line
a good
help.
corner.
So yeah, I mean they are secretly. And they also signed running back Lamar Miller as well. So secretly do it really well.
Yeah, so I think that I didn't know Washington made all those. I forgot that they had went out and got Fitzmagic. So yeah, I guess they have quietly had a good free agent period. So far, like the offseason, I don't think that. I mean, New England's just. They've made a lot of free agent signings, but I don't think that the free agent signings have been as good as people are making them out to be. I think that they get a lot of free range because they're the New England Patriots. So when they sign these guys that they get, other teams, if they would have made these contracts and paid the money that they're paying for these guys, I think they would have been accosted. But the fact that they're the New England Patriots, I think that they get a bye because of the fact that they're the dynasty that they are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The only problem I have with the Patriots is, yes, they've signed a lot of key assets to kind of bulk up the team, and they've done a good job at adding depth to the roster. But the biggest problem that I see with it is, yes, they've added a lot of good pieces, but all the pieces are all mediocre players. Like Nelson Aguilar, he's a guy who can be great one night, and then he's a guy who could, forget how to catch a football the other. He's very inconsistent. He had a lot of issues in Philly with that. That's why he got shipped out of there. And then he had a couple of issues in Vegas with the Raiders. He wasn't terrible or anything. He was much better with the Raiders than he was with the Eagles. I'll say that because he could not catch a ball in Philly. At least he caught him half the time in Vegas. But they're signing a lot of good players, but I just feel like it's too many mediocre players to really make that big of a difference. And I don't think, the signing of Cam was okay. I mean, Cam could bust out and do something cool, but at the same time, Cam Newton is a guy last year who couldn't throw a touchdown pass to save his life. And in a passing league, it's a tough thing to survive like that, unless if your name is somebody like Lamar Jackson and you've got a insanely good team around you with a good defense and stuff to back that up. So, and also the loss of Patrick Chung, I think was really big for this team. And, and it was weird too, because it was so far out of left field. Nobody expected Patrick to do that. Everybody expected Patrick to be like, okay, hey, the COVID thing's kind of calmed down. I'm coming out of my, quarantine. I'm going to come play football again. Everybody was expecting him to do that, but then he goes, a totally different direction, says, hey, I'm not going to stay with the Patriots. I'm not going to any team. I'm actually retiring. So nobody really expected that.
So I want to touch on that in a little bit here. But Wyatt, Monday's show, 67 minutes in there, we were talking about Hunter Henry and how he was a top tight end in the like in the league. Combs,
I agree.
You basically second that. So here at an hour and 25 minutes into the show, you said that Patriots just signed a bunch of mediocre players.
Yeah, other than Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, I think it was just a bunch of mediocre players.
Okay, so they've signed 5 players, but 2 of them are not mediocre players. They're great players. So about 40% of them are great players, right?
One's great, one's better than average, and then the rest are average.
Okay.
Or below average.
Okay.
Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith were both good signings. I think Jonnu Smith is an above-average tight end. Hunter Henry was a good signing. The other ones are iffy. I mean, Nelson Aguilar is a very, very inconsistent wide receiver. He's just not a guy who can put it together week after week after week. So I other than their tight end signings, I'm not very happy with what they've done. I don't feel like they've done it, especially with retaining Cam Newton. 8 touchdowns and 10 interceptions last year. It was if you're going in and he's your starting quarterback this year, you're still in trouble. It doesn't matter who you sign.
So I actually discussed this with Wayne G on the old Facebook page earlier today there, Combs. And if Cam Newton would have continued that trend throughout the season and played a full 16 games, he would have had 30 interceptions with 30 some touchdowns, right?
Oh man, I wonder who else did that.
Yeah, who else had 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in a season?
How many games did he play?
Cam Newton played 12.
Played 12 games. So you're telling me if he played those other 4 games, he would have had 33 touchdowns. So he would have had 25 more touchdowns than he had in those 12 games?
Yep, he was on pace for it.
You're on pace for smoking some funny stuff. I'll tell you that much.
What I'm getting at is you think Winston is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Winston is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
And you're telling
Winston
me
that Winston has never had a season where he's thrown for, Winston has never had a season where he's thrown for more interceptions than he has touchdowns. Never. Not once.
Sorry, boys, my allergies are getting me right now.
You're good.
Combs, sincerely, you are one of my closest friends. Buck is as well, but man,
that's because you've only got 2 friends, and it's me and Buck.
He has a dog. He fights.
When you come at me with this crap that Jameis Winston is a top 10 quarterback, I don't know where you're getting it. I'll tell you what, Combs. If he turns out to be this great phenomenon that you're expecting in New Orleans, I'll be the first one to call myself out. I will be the first one to sit here on Man Hour and say, Brandon Combs.
We are less than 9 months away from that happening.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I just don't. I really don't. So, I would love for you to be correct. I like Jameis. I like him. I really do. But I just don't. I've never seen the production since college. Ever since he left college, he has been an average to below average quarterback at all times. He had a heck of a wide receiver core. That's why he racked up all that yardage. But here's the deal. If you rack up 5,000 yards, that's great. But if you throw 30 picks along with that and throw more touchdowns to the other team than you did to your team, I know he didn't actually do that, but he threw a lot of touchdowns to the other team. If you do that, I can't call you a top 10 quarterback. I just can't do it.
He's played 4 seasons or 5 seasons as a quarterback. He has almost 20,000 yards passing. That's an average of 4,000 yards per season. What are you saying about he's being an average quarterback or a below average? No, he's been a very good quarterback.
These numbers lie to you, Combs. I mean,
he's had 121 touchdowns and 88 interceptions. How many picks does he have
in that time? How many picks does he have in that time?
88 to 121 touchdowns.
88 in 4 seasons.
5.
You just said 4 seasons.
I said 5. I corrected myself and said 5.
Well,
Okay, so
he didn't play last season.
He didn't
so
play
it
last
was
season.
4 seasons,
No,
right?
this was his 6th season.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Okay, hold on. So we got 88 divided by 5. That's 17.6 picks a year. That's 18
Okay.
picks a year.
18. What did Brett Favre average?
Not that.
Not that.
I bet you it's pretty damn close. He's got the all-time interceptions. I mean,
Well,
He
he also
does.
played 20 years.
yeah, but he threw for like 500 and something interceptions.
I don't know.
I'm looking up how many he threw. So he
You're
threw
Googling
he threw
skills.
336. How many seasons did he play?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now.
You are the Packer nut. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
16.
I know. 16 seasons.
Do.
He doesn't want to say the number. He doesn't want to say the number. What's the number?
It's not saying it. I'm not saying
What's
it.
the number?
It is 3
21.
touchdowns.
21 touchdowns a year. Okay. So what I'm saying is that you've got a guy who's a Hall of Fame quarterback who averaged 21 interceptions a year for his career.
Jameis Winston to Brett
Why?
Favre. You got one over me right there because I didn't realize Brett Favre threw 21 picks in a year. I knew he led the league in picks all time. I didn't realize it was, good Lord, I didn't know it was 21.
He had a season where he threw for 22 touchdowns and 29 interceptions.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, but
2005.
at the end of his career, he had a Super Bowl to back it up. Jameis won't have a Super Bowl to back it up.
Jameis will too. He might have 2.
So fun fact here, guys. I am looking at Brett Favre's stats here. His first season was 1991 with the Atlanta Falcons. Like, of course, he was 0 for 4, right? So 0 completions for four attempts, had 2 interceptions. So he had a 50% completion ratage to the other team.
Hey,
those
Wyatt, do you want to
4
tell
attempts.
everybody how the Atlanta Falcons got him?
What do you mean?
Do you know how the Falcons got Brett Favre?
They drafted him.
They drafted him?
Do you know how they got that draft pick?
No.
The Bears traded it.
Wah, 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 wah.
That's it. I mean,
Hold on. Of course they did. Of course the Bears. What is more fitting than the Chicago Bears
Yeah, I know.
trading away a Hall of Fame quarterback pick?
I know.
What is more Chicago Bears than that?
I know. Trust me, I know, man. I
Giving
get it.
up 4 first-round picks for the guy they should have drafted.
And you know who they went with over the next like 5 or 6 years? I believe they went with Jim Harbaugh. Yeah.
It's great.
All right, guys. Back to free agency. Here.
Jesus.
We each picked a team that won the NFL free agency in our eyes. So, Wyatt, let me kick it to you first. By the moves that the Arizona Cardinals have made in free agency, does that make them the favorite in their division moving forward?
You know, that's a good question. That's a tough one because that division is so good. The NFC West is a really good division. You've got Seattle out there. You've got the Rams out there who have made a lot of really good moves as well in this offseason, as well as the Niners, who, if everybody on the Niners is healthy, and, you know, there's rumors of them bringing in Watson. If they bring in Watson and everybody out there is healthy, they're a league contender, not just a division contender. So this is one of those years where that division could legitimately go to anybody. But as of right now, I think I would possibly give them the edge on that because I think they really improved the defense this offseason. They've got a lot of young stars on defense like Isaiah Simmons that are developing well, and Budda Baker as well that are really developing well and turning into awesome defenders. They did lose Patrick Peterson, of course, but you know they got a lot of young DBs that will fill those spots, and Byron Murphy, I believe, is out there as well. But they've got, and then on offense, they've got a nice offense. They're building up a lot of receiving options. And I think, honestly, they're starting to lean more toward a Chiefs offense here because, you know, all they've got left now is Chase Edmonds, and he's a receiving back. They got rid of Kenyon Drake. And they brought in a bunch of wide receivers. So are we seeing them kind of go toward a passing, you know, but with a mobile quarterback offense like what the Chiefs have been running for the last couple of years? Are we going to see teams run with that more often now? I think that's what we're seeing here. So I do think they'll be very successful, and I think that they right now, in my book, have the the edge because there's too many questions other places. Seattle, there's way too many questions there with is Russell Wilson going to be there? Are they even going to have a quarterback there? Is their defense going to shut down again? With the Niners, there's too many questions. Oh, is anybody going to be healthy? Are they going to bring in Watson?
I think the Niners are going to be better than people think. I think that they're going to end up with somebody other than Jimmy G. I think they're going to have to because that NFC West is stacked.
Yeah, and then you look at the Rams as well, and they've got too many questions. Does Matt Stafford come in and fit? Does the defense continue to run like it has been the last couple of years? So too many questions all across the league when really right now we're kind of starting to see everything fall into place for the Cardinals. And, let's say certain things don't fall into place. Let's say Larry Fitz is not what he has been over the last couple of years because the age is finally getting to him. That's fine. AJ Green is perfectly capable of stepping up and filling into that role of that physical go-get-it wide receiver that he is. I mean, he's not going to fill in his leadership role, of course, but Larry's still going to be on the team if he's there, of course. Larry will still fill in for that part, but as for physical body and go-get-it wide receiver abilities, he could still do that. So yeah, I would give him the edge in the division on a very close one because that division is they're just so good, man.
How would you like to be Michael Brockers, the defensive lineman from the Rams, who in an interview
That's
said
so awkward.
when they got Matthew Stafford, and he said in an interview to Pro Football Talk, "Hey, we just leveled up at quarterback. Matthew Stafford's a level up from Jared Goff." Well, and the Rams just finalized a trade to the Lions, and they traded Michael Brockers to the Lions.
So
imagine that first encounter in the locker room.
Exactly. What do you say? You get there like, hey, man, I was just joking, of course.
No,
and he's like, no, you weren't.
You always support the new guy coming in, so he feels, like, a part of the team.
Welcome. Yeah,
that is what we did to the defensive coordinator over at Floyd. We patted him on his back and say, "Hey, you're doing a great job," even though he sucked.
At least he's not an offensive lineman, right?
Yeah, right.
I love it.
So Combs, let's go ahead and transition from the NFC to the AFC. You said the Patriots, won the free agency so far. Did that put them over the edge of the Buffalo Bills this year?
No. I don't even know if it put them over the Dolphins just yet because of Cam Newton being their quarterback. With Cam Newton as their quarterback, they're not better than the Bills. They're not better than the Dolphins. They're just the only team that they're better in that division right now is the Jets. And I mean, the Jets have made a lot of moves too.
Yeah. Never know.
I don't see more than 7 to 8 wins again out of this New England Patriots team unless they go out and do something different at quarterback.
So even with Tua at the helm and Miami, you think Miami is still the second best team in that division?
Yeah, because even if Tua falters, now they got Jacoby Brissett
They brought in Will Fuller too.
Right.
They're giving him weapons, and we haven't even gotten into the draft yet. I mean, they're bringing in some serious stuff for him. Now, I will say, if Miami goes with Deshaun Watson, if somehow they finalize a trade for a pick or two, and Deshaun Watson goes there, Deshaun Watson's got the weapons he needs now. I mean, it's set for him now to go there if he's going to, and for him to be successful, really for anybody, because Miami is shaping out to be a good team. They've got a good defense. Their wide receiver core is getting better. Will Fuller is an awesome deep threat that you can really stick anywhere on the field. He can be a deep threat for you. He can be a slot man. He can be whatever you want him to be. He is that guy. So Will Fuller is a nice addition for them. They've got a good running back core there, a decent offensive line, and Gesicki's a good tight end as well to stick out there too. So, I've been really impressed with the Dolphins as well with what the moves that they've made this offseason to bring some guys in and also keep players on that team.
All right, so we do have a couple minutes before we're up against the break here, so let's go ahead and address some of those comments here that are rolling in here. Good, Combs.
Drew says, Wyatt, at the end of his last game, Breeze told Winston that the Saints are his team now. Even Drew Brees has faith in him. I'm telling you right now, there is a reason why Sean Payton said at the end of the season, before any free agency even happened, we want Winston back. And it's because he saw what he was doing in practice. He wants Winston back. Winston is going to be a great quarterback, and he is going to be a great quarterback that leads the New Orleans Saints to at least the NFC Championship game this year.
Let me ask you this question. Yes, I know that you said with Winston, like we're talking about 2020 team here, with Winston leading the team, they would have been a better offense and then Drew Brees would have had to sit at the bench. Do you really do you truly wholeheartedly believe that was the case, or were they just saving him to I
100% believe that's the case. They knew it was Drew Brees' last year. They didn't want the controversy. They didn't want anything to go on in that locker room. So the reason why Taysom Hill started those 3 games is because they did not want Jameis Winston to go in there and tear it up. And if he goes in there and tears it up, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes in there and he's the same old Jameis Winston. But if he goes in there and he's averaging the 30 to 35 points a game, and then Drew Brees comes back and they're only averaging 20 to 21, and they're maybe a playoff team, maybe a contender, but the fans, everybody's going to be saying, we don't want Drew Brees back in there. We want Jameis Winston. And they didn't want to do that to Drew Brees. I 110% believe that. And then Drew says, didn't Combs make a bet about Winston winning 50% of his games? I did yesterday because Wyatt's too scared to ever make a bet because he's afraid of losing that.
I am not
horrible
scared
head
of making a bet. I just refuse to cut my
making
hair.
a bet.
Okay,
So
hey,
I made a
here we
bet
go.
with Torrey Anderson yesterday that if Jameis Winston is better than 500 next season with the
As a
New Orleans
starter.
Saints as a starter, that I will, if he's better than that or if he's worse than that, whichever one happens, either Torrey Anderson or I is going to have
What
to
if he finishes
eat
8-8?
something with then Torrey Anderson wins. He's got to be better than 500.
Okay.
Minimum
So there
We
is
got
no
to do
push.
something with the
So
last
it's
dab
8.5
sauce on it.
is what it is.
Yeah. So we have to eat something with the last dab sauce on it, and the last dab sauce has like a 2 million on the Scoville scale.
Oh, yes. See, now
But
that
you're
kind
too
of bet,
scared.
I'm
You'll
totally
do
down
it?
for doing that. I'll do
All
a
right.
bet like that.
All right,
Hot
so
sauce,
you
it just won't
so-
touch the hair, man. I'll do
so
a money
you and
bet, whatever
Torrey-
you want.
You and Torrey, if he goes better, if he's better than 500 next year, then you and Torrey both have to eat something with the Scoville sauce on it, with the
Well,
last dab sauce on
I
it.
don't know if he'll be worse. I think he goes 9-7. He's got too many. He's got an offensive wizard at head coach. He's got Michael Thomas at wide receiver, Traquan Smith, who's a great wide receiver as well behind that, Alvin Kamara, a good
And
defense.
that's why
He
he's
is
going to
set
be a
up
top 10 quarterback in the
No,
league.
he is going to be carried for whatever happens.
So Combs, you are saying he's going to be the best quarterback in the league. Why don't you take that bet with Wyatt right now and put 9 wins on it? I mean, over 9 wins.
Yeah, I'll go over 9 wins. If he's over 9 wins, then you have to eat it.
There you go.
Wait, are you scared?
Yeah, he's
Bro,
I know, look, he's already trying to
now
get out of
Wyatt,
it. Look at
now
him.
Wyatt is backpedaling.
Yeah.
Wow, great! Wyatt, you are going to be a great politician, man. You talk just a big game,
yeah.
and then
Hey,
and then
You
when
know what?
things
You
happen-
should try.
see him play
You should
before I
try
bet
swimming.
this stuff,
You could
man.
probably make the Olympics in the backstroke.
I think his team carries him. I don't know what they do.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say that. I know my luck. He finishes 10-6. I said 9-7, and I got to eat hot sauce that will burn my eyeballs out of my face.
So, are you saying you don't accept the bet, Wyatt?
No, don't.
Oh
Wow.
my God!
Wow.
What awful.
Okay, hold on.
You don't
Combs,
stand
what do
by
you think he
anything
goes?
you say.
What do you say he goes? What do you say he wins? How many
he
games?
said NFC Championship.
I
game.
said I looked at their schedule. I said they're at least 11-5 next year.
11-5. You said NFC champ, right?
Yeah, he'll take them to somewhere around the NFC Championship game. Yeah, maybe. The
So how
Super
about
Bowl.
this? I'll bet you this: if they go to the NFC Championship, I will eat the hot sauce. If they don't, you eat the hot sauce. Deal?
No, we said 9 wins, Wyatt.
No.
Oh,
There is
not-
there is
no.
there
his
is no
team is too
bartering
good.
here.
His team. I could go play quarterback for
Oh
the Saints
my
next
God.
year, and we probably come away with 8 wins.
Dude,
that
it
team
is
is
no
just too
wonder
good.
you are a Green Bay Packer fan, man. You just hedge your bets over everything. Like you are the prototypical. Like, oh my God. Hey, you
Okay.
know what? I bet you Nikki would take the bet.
Yeah. Bring her on air,
Definitely
ask her.
not. Huh?
Bring her on air and ask her
Ask her what?
if she'll take the bet.
Will you?
Because
She's probably
just because
she's probably smart enough to know that Jameis Winston is going to be better than that, though. So she probably won't take the bet.
Jameis Winston's going to be better than 9-7 bet for hot sauce to eat. She said she don't know who that is. That's how irrelevant Jameis Winston is, okay?
Okay, so therefore, Wyatt, your girlfriend will take your spot in the hot sauce eating stuff here.
Are you saying you're going to take my spot in the hot sauce eating contest?
It's not a hot sauce eating contest.
She said sure. She said sure.
Okay. So we know who wears the pants in that relationship.
Wow, Wyatt, you're gonna let your girlfriend take the heat? So you're the type of guy. You're the type of guy. If you're out on a date and you get held up at gunpoint, you stand behind Nikki. I get it.
That is not true.
I get it.
There was actually something like that happened, and I did not back down.
I don't believe you at all.
Yeah,
you won't even take hot sauce for her.
We literally just saw what happened. You said, "Oh, I will take that bet." And when it was time to shake the hand, you're like, "Oh, no." Nikki will do it.
I got to see how they do.
If you have any signs of an ulcer, don't do it. You'll be in the hospital.
Exactly. I don't want to die.
You're like 18.
My God,
you'll be fine.
Wyatt.
All right, guys. We're going to take our last break here, guys. On the other side of the break, we got the Dine-In March Madness bracket. So this has been published by Barstool, and we're just going to do one bracket here, and we're going to pick
do you want to compete in this, or do you want to get Nikki to do it?
Yeah.
I'll compete.
Oh, okay.
Loser takes hot.
Jeez.
Loser eats
There,
hot
how about
sauce.
that? The loser of us three has to eat the hot sauce.
As why we're not eating hot sauce, so we're get out of here with that. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we do have the Dine-In March Madness contest. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. This is Michael Buckeye along with Wyatt Williams. Wyatt definitely is scared, and Wyatt has officially been kicked off the Man Hour. This is back to little boy hour for Wyatt, since he is backpedaling faster than his words can come out of his mouth right now. So if you guys missed it, play it back on iTunes or iHeartRadio. Combs, take over for me a second. Got a sneeze, man. Allergies.
Do you backflip a lot when you go to the trampoline park? Do you do a lot of those?
No.
Or is it just always just jumping straight up and down? Because you do a lot of backpedaling on this show, man. We get you. We say stuff, then you say stuff, and you stand all convicted. And then as soon as somebody confronts you with anything, you're like, no, I can't.
Well, first off,
but then your girlfriend says, "Oh, I'll do it for you,"
because you always are like, shave your head. No,
so we went away from that. You still got scared. Hashtag Wyatt is scared. Hashtag Wyatt kicks dogs. Hashtag Wyatt thinks that fast food workers get paid too much. Hashtag.
No, I never said that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
So we were going to do the fast food bracket here, but I want to address some of the comments that have been rolling up like up here to end the show here. Brian Pearl says after he throws so many interceptions, Hill will be starting. So therefore, Jameis Winston is going to throw too many interceptions, and Taysom Hill is going to be starting for the New Orleans Saints here in the 2021 season.
False.
That is a false statement.
That's a false statement.
Get this one up here.
Because he's just not going to I was going to look, because they've already seen what he is as what Taysom Hill is as a starting quarterback. So for one, I believe they bring in another quarterback to back up Jameis Winston. And Taysom Hill doesn't even see the football field as a quarterback because they already know he's not a quarterback in this league. He proved it this year.
So what did they sign Taysom Hill for? Simply be a gimmick tight end again?
No, he's not a gimmick tight. He's a very good receiver. He's a very good running. He is a very good gimmick guy. If he does take a snap under center, it's going to be in the Wildcat formation because that's his bread and butter. But that's just what he is. Like, he's not the guy that can take, 45, 50 snaps a game.
So why you were laughing and you were clapping and like agreeing with Brian Pearl's comment there. Do you think Taysom Hill is going to be starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints sometime this season?
I think it's sometime, yeah. I mean, I think there will be games where Jameis, the point when Jameis throws 5 picks, 4+ picks, at that point, whatever game or
Wyatt
game
Williams.
In a game or the season?
Wyatt Williams. If Taysom Hill does not start a game for the Saints this season, and it's not due to injury, will you do the hot sauce challenge?
Oh.
Come on, stand by your convictions here, bud.
Stand by your words, man. Come on.
I have a friend who did that, and I just know how much pain that he looked like he was in.
I mean, look, it's not.
How about this? We
So
go
you're
to
scared is what you're
Roosters,
saying.
like us three go to Roosters, and we order you 5 of the hottest wings off of the menu, and you got to eat all 5 without taking a drink. How about that?
No, not doing that one. That's insane. People have to eat those things with like gloves,
You know
dude.
what?
That's way too hot.
I give up.
How about the second hottest wings for you? Hashtag Wyatt is scared. How about this, Wyatt?
Holmes in trouble.
How about this, Wyatt? Since you don't want to eat now, I mean, you love food, but you don't want to eat wings. You don't want to eat hot sauce. You don't want to shave your head. How about this? How about you?
I want to.
How about you chug a gallon of milk underneath a minute?
You die if you do that.
No, you won't.
You just don't.
Your stomach explodes. Yes, you do.
You just drink as much. You just drink as much milk as you can in like a minute.
You die if you do that. Bro, my mom is a nurse. She told me
everything.
My mom is a nurse. She told me if you ever chug a gallon of milk,
she also told you if you keep making that face, it'll get stuck that way.
Yeah, and if you sit too close to the TV, you go cross-eyed.
Stop it.
And if you swallow your gum and stay in your stomach for 7 years.
Eat your carrots. They're good for your eyes. Have you ever seen a rabbit with glasses?
Actually, I have.
I have not seen it.
Besides more.
All right. Oh, why? I don't even know. I get it.
I'll do the cinnamon challenge. How about that? I'll do that.
What are you in kindergarten?
Why don't you just go eat a Tide Pod?
Bro,
might as well.
You will die on that. That you do die.
That's what your generation is all about, is Tide Pods. God.
So
I give up with you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the cinnamon challenge is like where you can't eat cinnamon, like it makes you like sneeze or cough.
Yeah, it makes you like literally cough it out.
So basically you have allergies like I got right now, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. Sheesh.
For sure.
How about you drink a half gallon of milk, since a gallon makes your belly explode?
No, we're not going to get him to do nothing, Buck. He's just he's scared. He's a little boy. He's just he hasn't graduated yet. You got to just leave him alone. We don't want to. This is the cyber bullying stuff. We don't want to do any of that. Right. We don't want to get in trouble
peer
for
pressure.
That. Yeah,
it's not peer pressure. We're just asking you to stand behind what you say.
You are peer pressuring me to shave my head every time I get on this show. You're like, bro, if you did this, Would you shave your head for this or this? No, I would not.
You remember that time I said I would buy tickets for us to go to a game here at Wrigley? I've backed out of that since then. I don't think I can do it. The tickets are just. I mean, they're very high right now. They're hard to come by. I don't think I could do it. I'll try, but I just I'm not sure.
So Wyatt, let's go ahead and jump back up to your Brian Pirtle's comment here. You said Taysom Hill would start after Winston throws 5 interceptions. Is that 5 interceptions in a game or the season just total?
Like in a game, he'll just have a bad game where he throws.
It doesn't really matter because like at the end of the day, Wyatt's not going to back behind anything. As the mute button goes to Wyatt, Combs, send us out, man.
Man Hour Nation. # Wyatt is scared. # Wyatt kicks dogs. Rise up.